Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole and today it is time to pick my books for October. Per usual, I am going to be playing my TBR game, the Unicorn Games, to pick my books. I'm going to be trying to get about 3,000 pages worth of books to read. And if you would like more details on how to play my game in general, I have hopefully posted at the same time as this video a video that just goes into detail all about my TBR game, because some of you have been asking and I finally made it, guys. Sorry for the delay. Anyway, in brief, I am going to pull a letter at random from this deck of letter cards. I am going to spin a spinner wheel, and you can see my October themed spinner wheel here. And I'm going to use the prompt from the spinner wheel and whatever letter I get on the card, and I'm going to combine them together to choose a book off my TBR. So let's go ahead and get right to it. The only other thing that I want to add is that for this month, I have a special spinner wheel, not just in color, but the prompts on it are actually part of the TBR Harvest. And this is a reading challenge readathon type of situation. I never know which ones they are. I guess I should have looked that up. But TBR Harvest is being hosted by Leandra at the TBR Zero, along with a whole bunch of other hosts. I'll be hosting a reading sprint for it. And so I thought, why not, for the fun of it, also choose my books based off the trick or treat prompts, put them on my spinner wheel, incorporate them into my game, and probably end up with a whole bunch of unicorn picks. Let's just be honest. That's how we all know that's how this is going to end. So let's jump right to it and see what a disaster I can make of October. All right, my first letter card pick is going to be a letter J or Q. Well, that helps a lot. Oh, the other thing I should mention is that my book picks for this month, I'm filming this early in September, but at the end of September, I get all my books back out of storage, which means in the month of October, I will be able to choose from any of the books that I own. So I am going to show you the books that I have on me, but I will be picking from my full library of books, which I do have in a spreadsheet so I can see what they are. And so some of them I will just have to show to you on the screen, but in October, I will have them all in physical form, and I cannot wait. Anyway, okay, that was a lot. Maybe I'll cut that out and insert that somewhere else. Let's spin the wheel. A grumpy character? Okay. Okay. I mean, I have two different sets of letters to choose from. I can find a grumpy character. I know I can find a grumpy character. Okay, so for the first book pick, I needed a book whose title starts with the letter J or Q and features or has in it a grumpy character. And this may be a stretch because I don't know for sure, but I feel like there's got to be at least one grumpy character in this book. And that would be Jennifer Government by Max Barry. This is a sci-fi dystopian novel about a time where basically taxation's been abolished, the government has been privatized, and employees now have the name of their workplace as their surname. So, for example, Jennifer works for the government. I don't know much about it other than that, except I think it's supposed to be somewhat funny as well as very intriguing, mysterious. I think there's some heist or chase or something going on, as in like Jennifer government is chasing somebody. And so I'm really looking forward to this. This has been on my TBR for quite a while. And yeah, I'm guessing because of the like funny aspect of it that there'll be like sort of a funny, grumpy person in here. At least that's my hope, and I'm going for it because nothing else was going to work. So Jennifer Government is 320 pages long and will be the first book on my TBR for October. All right, my next letter pick is going to be the letter D. Oh, for Drood, if only I was ready for you. All right, let's see what the prompt's going to be. Oh, that was so close. I haven't mentioned, but there's a few prompts on this wheel that I'm like, I know for a fact there's no way I have them. And vampire is one of them. So historical setting, a book whose title starts with the letter D, historical setting. Drood would work, wouldn't it? Okay, we're going to have to see if we can get the rest of the TBR to support Drood. All right. I needed a book whose title starts with the letter D and has a historical setting. And yeah, I did it. I decided to go for it, guys. I am going to put Drood back on my TBR, and I am going to do my best and cross my fingers that the rest of these prompts work out, because I still have Our Mutual Friend to read. And so I really need this game to be kind for me so that I can get that on the TBR so I can read that as well so that I can then go and read this. And if you know, you know. If not, like there's past videos where we talk about what, or I talk about what's going on with this. Anyway, Drood by Dan Simmons is 771 pages long. And yeah, I started reading this a couple months ago. I made it to page 200. It reads pretty quickly. Am I going to reread those 200 pages? Yes, I am, because I'm that person. And I know I have forgotten some stuff that's happened in the beginning. And I also know there's some pretty important stuff. Maybe I should just go back and look at my tabs. Nah, I enjoyed it. I'm going to reread it. I think there may be an audiobook for this. And if I can get that, I will look for it and check it out now, because maybe I'll listen to the audio for the first 200 pages and then switch to reading. Anyway, it's going to be on there. It's going to get read. I've got good feelings about this. Maybe the game is going to like make all my dreams come true. Doubtful. My next letter pick is an A through Z. That helps a lot, but only if the wheel is nice to me. Hey, the wheel is being nice. Drood might happen this month because I can see it all coming together. Yes. For a book whose title starts with the letter A through Z and has a film adaptation, guys, the universe, the game, the something, I'm going to pick Our Mutual Friend. There's pretty much a film adaptation or TV adaptation or some sort of adaptation of every single one of Charles Dickens' books. Some of them are better than others. Let's just be honest. But I'm 99.999% sure there is one of Our Mutual Friend, and I'm so sure of that, but I'm not even bothering to check it out. Editing me will have regrets and will replace this book later if that failed to be the case. Anyway, it's going on my TBR as of right now. Our Mutual Friend by Charles Dickens is the last book that I want to read before I go and read Drood. It is 899 pages long in this edition, and probably in most editions. It is not a short book. Not really sure what I'm doing to myself this month in August, but I feel like this is going to have some really interesting vibes. Like Dan Simmons is definitely like horror and body horror, and Our Mutual Friend, I know at least features a guy who gets pulled out of the river at the beginning. So I guess my October is shaping up to be kind of creepy or spooky or mysterious after all. And I'm excited about it. All right, my next letter pick is the letter T. Interesting. Mysterious read, huh? Okay. This could work. For the letter T, I needed a book whose title starts with T and is described as mysterious. So for this one, I used the story graph to help me out and to sort my books based on them being described as mysterious, and it needed to be something on my TBR. And interestingly enough, I had a book that fit, and that book is Trilby by George du Maurier. And apparently this is a book that's like right up there with like Dracula and other books, I guess a bit gothic in feel, and some Sherlock Holmes as well. So I don't totally understand the concept of this book, other than that it explores George du Maurier's time where he was living in sort of bohemian society in Paris. And so I'm expecting bohemian vibes, maybe some gothic, something mystery, detective-ish type of situation. And in case you were wondering, I do believe that this is Daphne du Maurier's father. So that's also interesting. And Trilby, in case I didn't already say it, is 368 pages long. The next letter pick is the letter R. Okay, R, I'll take it. Okay, sweet word in the title. It's still not a vampire, so we'll go with it. But yeah, I'm pretty familiar with my R's, and there's no sweet words in those titles, I don't think, but we'll find out. Okay, so a book whose title starts with the letter R and has a sweet word in the title. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, guys. But amazingly, I have a book that fits. And that book is Red Pottage. And pottage, in case you don't know, because I didn't know and I had to look it up, is a type of soup or stew. And you may be thinking, Nicole, that's not like a sweet word on the... Yes, it is. You can have a sweet vegetable soup or stew. For example, sweet potato can be made into a pottage. Sweet potato sweet, it even has sweet in the word. So yeah, my red pottage. Let's just imagine they used a reddish colored sweet potato and made that pottage. And Maybe that's what it is in the story. Wouldn't that be great? Anyway, I'm taking it for a win. Red Pottage is going on my TBR. This is a book that's by Mary Cholmondeley. Yeah, I also know her last name does not look like Chumley, but I have been told by multiple people and looked it up to confirm myself that that is how you say her last name. So who knows? Anyway, I don't have the book on me, and Storygraph wasn't particularly useful in describing the book because apparently not enough people have read it. So I'll tell you what this book is about once I read it because I no longer remember. And oddly, it's not a book that I have on me. It's in storage, but I will have it back in October. Red Pottage is 376 pages long. My next letter pick is the letter S. All right. I was going to say this was one of the other prompts that I'm pretty sure won't work because I don't think any of my books have a cat on the cover, but I have one, but I might have a second. And if I do, it starts with the letter S. Then again, I think it's part of a painting that has cats in it. I'll look and find out. But this may not be as bad as I'm thinking. All right, so a book whose title starts with the letter S and has a cat on the cover. I thought I had a book that was going to work, and I didn't. So this is my first unicorn pick. And just because I don't have all the books here, I'm not even over by my bookshelf. I'm not going to show you how the unicorn game works in this video, but you can see past videos to see how it works. But I basically went through the same steps using my spreadsheet. I'll just show you the result. So I'll just go ahead and show you the results. And I pulled a 5 in my unicorn game. Trust me, I did not make that up. And the book that ended up leading me to is Tender is the Flesh. And this is another dystopian novel that has definitely got some body and other types of horror in it. So I feel like it fits the vibe of October for sure. Nicely, it's a slim book because after my first couple of picks, I definitely need some smaller picks for the rest of this TBR, and it's coming in at 211 pages long. Okay, my next letter pick is the letter C or K. Okay, good. I like options and choices. Okay, this might be tricky. A new release, which according to the game rules, has to be a book that was published in 2024. I don't buy a lot of new releases, so we'll see how that one works out. Okay, so I've got the letter C or K, so my book can start with the title C or K, and it just needs to be a new release, a book published in 2024. And as I thought, I don't have one. I looked it up on the Storygraph. I only have 2 books on my TBR that were published this year. And I'll be honest, even if I went back to 2023, I don't know that number would increase by much. So this ended up being another unicorn pick. And for my unicorn pick, I pulled an ace, which means that I could pick either the first or the 11th book after the letter C or K in the alphabet. Again, I'm not going to show you my going through that because I used my digital journal to do that. And the book that I ended up picking is, I went with K, by the way. And the book that I ended up picking is Lady Audley's Secret. I ended up choosing this one because it was one of the shorter of the options available because 2 of them were very long. But also I felt like, again, it continued with sort of the October spooky, mysterious, vibe going on. So this is a book that's been on my TBR for a while. It also fits into Victober. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to it. Lady Audley's Secret is 396 pages long. And thankfully with that finally brings me over 3,000 because the downside of also choosing a few smaller books is it just has me slowly eke towards that final number. However, per usual, those aren't the only books that I plan on putting on my pile of possibilities for the month. I do have a couple of books that I definitely have to read in October. And those books are The Amazing Adventure of Kavalier in Clay. And sorry, the sun is setting and coming straight through the window. So we're going to have this funky lighting situation going on here. There we go. Fix it slightly. And I am super excited to be reading this. I don't have to finish this in October, but I definitely need to make some good headway in the month of November. I think the 2nd or 3rd week of November, I am actually going to the opera of The Amazing Adventures of Kavalier and Clay. That's right, the opera, not even a musical. They just jumped straight from the book into opera, and I am excited. I love opera. I read this book back in high school, and I loved it then. I'm looking forward to rereading it. I'm going with some friends to the opera. We're going to do a little pop-up book club discussion about it beforehand, not before we go to the opera, but just sometime between now and November. And then before the opera, we're also going to go out to dinner, and we're just going to make a whole thing of it. And I'm so excited about that. So I can't wait to get into this book. Do I remember a lot of what it's about? No. I just remember it takes place during World War II in New York City, two brothers who I think have escaped Nazi Germany, and something about comics and comic books. I also remember that I really enjoyed this story. So hoping for a repeat there. And the next book is also going to be bumping that number up, and that is The Mysteries of Paris. I am still reading this with Stormy. We are going into book 8 during the month of October. That sounds about right. And that will be 121 pages long. This has been a buddy read we have been doing for a few months. We're getting close to the end. I'm hoping to kind of squeeze in 2 books in 1 month and finish at the end of the year. It's probably going to be December because I'm pretty sure the last book is actually just the conclusion and it's just a couple of chapters. Anyway, our approach is we try to read just 1 chapter a day, but we're definitely reading 1 book in here a month. It's just divided into 12 books. So we are on book 8. So I'm looking forward to this. We're definitely at like the climax and resolution portion of the story. So everything's coming together and it's super exciting. And the final book I will be going through this month is Year of Wonder by Clemency Burton. And this is just going to have me listen to 1 piece of classical music each day. And so I'll be reading each page that goes along with those musics. It's just 1 page per day. So I guess 31 pages, and we'll just go ahead and add that into my total. And yeah, I've been really enjoying this. I've discovered some new composers and pieces of music that I'm really enjoying. And in the month of October, I am actually going on a trip to go and listen to one of said composers live. And again, super, super excited. I love this. Like my books are coming into my real life. So yeah, that's it. You can now see my stack because it's so thick and tall over there. So let me gather all the books together and we'll talk about all of them at once. Okay, so here it is. This is my TBR stack for the month of October, and I will also put on the screen the 3 other books that I will be reading that I don't have on me yet, but are in storage and will have by the time October rolls around. And this looks like, per usual, a lot of reading, but I'm going to just remind myself that it's pretty doable. It's actually not super high over the 3,000 pages that I aim for, so I feel like I can do it. The only thing that I'm worried is going to slow me down is maybe our mutual friend. I'm not sure if it's going to be my friend, just because I know I don't tend to be able to read super fast through Charles Dickens. His sentence structures are very wordy, which I don't mind, but it does slow my reading down. That said, I do have some shorter books on here, and while this is really thick, I'm not reading the entire thing. I do know this book reads pretty quickly, so I have high hopes. And we'll see how it goes. So this is also my stack for TBR Harvest, and I will be playing a game related to the TBR Harvest throughout the month to help me get through this reading stack. I'll also be hosting a sprint for Leandra to get in the spirit of, harvest and that kind of thing. And I will be posting a video separately that will talk about what I am reading for Victober, because apparently I'm also participating in that. And yeah, so that's it for me. That's what I will be reading in the month of October. Be sure to comment below and let me know what you plan on reading this month, and if you're participating in any reading challenges or, readathons or whatever it may be called. And yeah, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.